Hello, everyone. Macintosh here. All right, so this is quite the surprise. For what you're seeing over here, new content that I'm wanting to make. This avatar that you see me wearing, this is actually my own custom handmade avatar. And it is my first avatar that I've made from scratch. So I'm going to be recording this all in one take. So let me just move this camera here out of the way so I can just look at this camera lens. All right. So what's going on here is this took me a week to actually model from scratch. It does help to have actual hard modeling experience with the worlds that I made from scratch as well. Now, keep in mind though, world making and avatar making are two completely different beasts. And I've learned a lot about Unity through both. And so, how I started was basically just modeling this. Now, if you're wondering where did I get the inspiration, first of all, it's Odysee based. The creator of the Odysee archetype, the lore and all that jazz, that belongs to Ryuujinzero. Ryuujinzero was the one who conceived the Odysee race, which is actually technically an open race. They're furries, they're a furry race, and basically diminutive space raptors. And so, like, let me show you an example here. Let me just bring up one avatar here. See, this is the traditional Odysee. So yeah, you see you got the tail, digigrade legs, and the wings, and 3 digits for the hands. And the eyes are the way how they're shaped, and 4 ears, basically. And also the snoot, there's no nose. It's more like a rounded snoot. So yeah, let me go back. All right, let me get this camera here out of the way. All right. So once I got the modeling done, I decided, I didn't decide, like I had to. I started working on rigging. I created the armature. Great tutorials from Royal Skies. Royal Skies create some awesome tutorials that are short form and to the point. Like, you need to learn a specific process really quick without the long diatribe and 10-minute monologues. Royal Skies is your guy. He will teach you everything you ever need to know inside 2 minutes. And he goes straight to the point, even goes to the step, like all that jazz. And a lot of times, using shortcuts helps a lot in Blender. And so, once I got the armature and started rigging it, the weight painting, that's where the pain started. And I've learned that for first-time avatar creators, if you're going to be making your first avatar, start off with robotic avatars. Robotic avatars are the easiest because all you need to do to start learning how to do weight paint and parenting and all that kind of stuff, it's like, so you only need to worry about hinges. The joints are all hinges, so that makes it very easy. You don't need to learn drivers just yet. Drivers are just basically like extra hidden bones that move parts of the body to keep them nice and rounded and smooth, especially if you have, like, one-piece avatars like that. They're like all like one skin that moves and stuff, and you don't want to have to deal with like the sausage linked movement. So this one, robots, avoid all that. Although I still have to learn how to do proper weight painting because of the tubing that you see here. Like, you see my avatar? So you got a bunch of tubing and also some actuators. Unfortunately, I still got to... I want to fix the avatar. I wouldn't say fix, I would say improve. I want to improve the actuators, or the pistons, basically, that move the like parts of the joints. And so I'm going to have to figure that out. Then I've had to learn how to do optimizations, because when I uploaded the avatar when I exported the avatar from Blender and into Unity, I found out that VRChat ranks such avatars as very poor if they go beyond a certain number of mesh renders. And because I treated each and every one of I created each one of these models, like the shapes, like for example, the back of my hand, the wing plates, the shoulder pads, the feet, the thigh armor plates, the chest plate, everything. These were it was like 80 pieces. Yeah, it was like close to like 80 pieces, 80 objects. And all I did was basically I took, say, this object over here, my left wingtip that you see, this plate, and parented to the hand bone, as well as this box over here, and this gauntlet that you see here on my left forearm. I just parented it to the left forearm, and so on and so forth. The chest plate to the and everything. However, they were just parented. They weren't really weight painted. And so this created a situation where it was like a bunch of separate objects that had to be individually rendered. And so what I had to do next to optimize was basically join all of these pieces for the armor into one mesh. Now, the problem with that, though, is that I could no longer parent them directly as I used to the bone. I now had to go into Blender and start learning how to utilize what's called vertex weights. And those vertex weights help me assign specific parts of the same mesh to specific bones. And that way, even though this armor plating is all one mesh technically, each bone is controlling specific parts via the vertices that connect to the specific meshes, the specific parts of the mesh. So, for example, my left hand bone is controlling the vertices of the wingtip, the left wingtip, and the vertices of the left hand backplate, basically, and so on and so forth. Then I had to learn real weight painting with the tubes. The tubes, I couldn't exactly do vertex groups for this one. I had to actually get the actual weight paint tool and go into edit mode and start weight painting specific parts of the tube, so I could then make sure that when the forearms move, the tubes move accordingly. There's a bit of a protrusion here, but that's all right. And then when I raise up my arms, lower it and stuff, there you go. And the same for the pistons. Now, that's another step that was finished. The other step next was learning how to do visemes, which is basically the lip sync operation of the avatar. So whenever I'm talking, you see my jaw moving around, and so I had to learn how to create visemes using shape keys. So I had to learn shape keys in addition to vertex weights. And then once I got the visemes to work, I then had to learn how to do gesture controls, like gesture expressions, which is basically if, depending on how my hand is, how my fingers are set up on my hand. So if I do the finger gun, whether it's with the left hand or the right hand, you'll notice my face does the annoyed expression. If I do a fist on either one of my hands, a fist, my face goes into kind of an angry roar, kind of like a battle cry. If I do the peace sign, I get a grin. If I do thumbs up, happy. So yeah. And so Other than that, another thing I had to learn how to do is toggles for the avatar. So, for example, the left aerogel blade, which is actually its own separate shape key. This is not an object that's not a separate object. This is actually incorporated into the mesh itself. All I did was basically just copy one of the duplicate one of the face, like the face of the wingtip edge, move it out a little bit, and then extrude it. Scale down vertically the edge of the blade to make it look sharp, and then applied a blank material to the blade with an emission to create the like a holographic-esque or aerogel blade, like aerogel style blade that's specific to the Avali. Although I gotta fix the menu over here because it's kind of like flipped. So like the idea is that like when you look at the menu, like if you want to engage the left aerogel blade, you just swing to the left, but that's the right. So if I do that, it's like, oh wait, wrong one. So it's flipped on the menu. So I gotta fix the menu. Besides the point though. Now, the next issue I encountered was the eye placement and how the feet were. But before that, I need to rewind a little bit here. I had to then learn how to do proper rigging with digigrade legs. So if you notice here for the Avali, the mechanical Avali or mech Avali, I'm going to tell you what the name was that I settled on. Notice the feet. It's like there. It's all digigrade. So yeah. All right. Let me set the anchor point over here. All right. So for the rigging of the digigrades, that was something I had to learn through some YouTube tutorials. Like I've been watching hours of YouTube tutorials for both Blender and Unity. It was crazy. It's crazy that the fact that you can spend hours watching these tutorials, and you'll forget 90% of them inside 5 minutes. Man, what the hell? Damn. Anyways, so once I got that set up, then an issue came up in Unity. Once I exported the avatar into Unity, and then set up the avatar configuration to humanoid, and then generated the rigging based off that. Now in the scene, the Unity scene, it looks all right. The feet are planted on the floor of the world space, and the eyes. When I set the viewpoint, the eyes are vertically lined up with the eyes. They're centered. It looks fine, right? But then as soon as I upload it to VRChat, suddenly the eyesight had me looking almost through my chest, and my feet were a couple of inches off the ground for some reason. I'm like, what the hell? Why? What's going on? So I basically spent an entire week trying to address that, figuring out. I have people like give me recommendations. I say, oh, maybe you have to go into the avatar configuration and rotate the bones in some way. Although in the avatar configuration, I had to kind of like do that, but not for the position of the avatar in the relative world space, but for the position of the feet when it goes into T-pose mode. Because for some reason, when it went into T-pose mode, the feet were like oddly extended out further out than necessary. So it's like I had to go in and manually move some of the bones back so that it actually goes into the proper position, you know. But that's a separate bone that affects the mesh, not the bone that controls the constraints. that was affected the constraints of the avatar. Because remember, digigrade bones are a completely different beast to understand. Now, and that's another thing. The digigrade bones or rigs forced me to also learn how to utilize and understand constraints. So rotation constraints, position constraints, etc. Then I found out that when you go into isometric view in the avatar configuration page, I go into the side view in isometric mode, and I realized with the grid view enabled, I realized my feet, when properly set up and everything, were like hanging just a few feet off, like a few inches off the ground in the world space, even though in the scene the feet are perfectly fine and planted on the ground in the world space in the scene, but not in the avatar configuration page. And so all I had to do was grab the root bone of the avatar, whether that could be the spine, that's the spine in this case, or the hip bone in some other avatars, depending, and just drag it down a little bit until the feet line up with the floor of the world space in the avatar configuration page. And then once that was fixed, that meant I had to go back into the VRChat avatar descriptor and then adjust the eye height to where the actual eyes are, because before, to compensate, I had to move the eyes way up to my forehead or the top of my head so that my eyes won't be seen through the freaking chest plate. But yeah, so my feet are now properly planted on the ground. My eyes are now properly matching up with the visual model itself. I'm happy as a clam. All right. Then, now, actually, in the interim, I worked on texturing. So I did the textures. Yeah. So this is actually just one texture. It's utilizing six unique materials, but only one of these materials has the texture, and it's a 4K texture that you could just set to either 2K or 1K depending on your optimization needs. But yeah, this is all just one texture, minus the endoskeleton, the tubing, and the actuators and eyes. The eyes and the blades are empty textures as well, and they have emissions. So out of the 6 unique materials, only one of them has a texture. The rest are just for controlling the colors. Now, the next thing I need to do is create a texture, a specific texture that tells you where each of the individual faces go in relations to the UV map. So that way you know, like, okay, I'm texturing this polygon, that's going to go on this part of the avatar, etc. That's for people who don't texture in Blender and prefer to texture in 2D, like say GIMP, Krita, Photoshop, what have you. Now, again, unfortunately, because I don't have Substance Painter, because I'm running on Linux, and I know that there is the Steam version of Substance Painter. That's a one-time purchase, but I'm not going to spend $200, and I'm not going to fucking give Adobe money. Fuck them. I decided I'm going to do all the texturing in Blender. I've been doing my entire workflow has been within Blender. Everything from world modeling, avatar modeling, texturing, and as well as even video editing. This very video that you're watching was made using Blender. Man, I'm a masochist. I'm insane. Well, God made me this way. All right. But anyways, what was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about I don't have Substance Painter, and so what I'm going to then do is create a set of texture files that could then be used to create layers, okay, like separate layers that you could then use and manage in any like open source image editor like Krita or GIMP, or even in Adobe, if you want to stay with Adobe. So next up, what I need to do is I need to fix the menu for the toggles. I want to create one more texture. So, and on top of that, and this is the final one, I want to start selling the avatar. The avatar is like, I'm when I want to sell it, I don't think I'm gonna sell it on Gumroad though. I've asked people around, like asking them, hey, what's the best marketplace for me to actually sell avatar bases and stuff. I initially looked at Gumroad, but then I found out about Jynxzi. There is Booth, but unfortunately I don't know Japanese. It's like, I don't want to have to learn how to read kanji or something like that. So I'm just gonna stick with Jynxzi. I've heard that it's actually a lot better and has actual like custom support for those who sell their wares on Jynxzi. And so I'm gonna go ahead and start setting up my account there, and then start selling the avatar base along with the base textures, as well as the blend file and the Unity package. I'm going to sell the blend file as well. So, what else? As for the price and date, I haven't settled on when yet, but I need to set up the account first. Then I'll have to settle down on the pricing. The pricing is going to be something I have to think about, because I don't want it to be priced so high that it's going to discourage anybody from buying it. And besides, this is my first avatar. I don't want to price it too high. And I also don't want it to be priced too low to the point where it's like I'm not making any profit whatsoever, and the money is just going straight towards like merchant fees and stuff like that. And then there's a tax man that comes in. Like, damn you, IRS. Why? Anyways. I do have an idea for the price, but I just want to run the numbers to see like how much it's actually going to cost me, and then I have to add in a little bit of a margin there for profit, and that's it. So yeah. Honestly though, I'm really happy. This is my first avatar that I've modeled from scratch. And so like I've wanted to learn everything like the hard way. I'm not using VRC Fury. I'm not using the gesture manager. The only open source tool that I'm using is the avatar manager. The avatar manager is what's used for actually I'm trying to remember, is it? No, it's like the avatar manager is only useful for when you're trying to troubleshoot something, but you don't want to like constantly upload it to VRChat and then test it in VRChat, but you can test it in Unity. That's basically it. That helps me troubleshoot the gestures. So yeah. But beyond that, though, the reason I'm not going to include any crazy shaders or anything like that. This is actually just built using whatever tools are actually directly available natively in Unity. I don't want to be selling something to somebody and then tell them, oh hey, when you buy this, you have to download a separate shader, or you have to download VRC Fury, acquire that first. I've seen creators do that. It annoys the hell out of me. I understand that, they're trying to make their avatars pretty and everything, but this is like the equivalent of somebody selling you a car and then telling you, oh, hey, if you want to use this car, you got to buy the tires off like a separate dealership or a body shop somewhere. I'm like, bruh. So another reason is so that in case anything goes awry, like if if something goes sideways with a project, that somebody contacts me about it, I can at least troubleshoot it very quickly, and I know what went wrong, and that helps a lot. To be able to learn everything from scratch, the old-fashioned way, I can go through the process much quicker, and I'm learning a lot about Unity. Let me tell you, shit. Now, the inspiration. What inspired me to make this thing? It's like, all right, now I wanted to get to that. So here we go. Okay, obviously it's based off the Avali. Yes, we know it's using the Avali archetype. You know, but if you happen to look closely, and if you're old enough, this was also partly inspired by the ABC Warrior from Judge Dredd, the one with Sylvester Stallone. I think that movie came out like, what was it, like 95 or 98? I can't remember. It's an old movie. And so, yeah, it's that robot. It's based off that. So it's that merged with the Avali. Put together and you get this. But I had to improvise a lot. A lot of this was improvised because I couldn't really like get like any one-to-one angle except for the head on the side. So like what I did was I found a side view of the head of the ABC Warrior, and then just sketched out like an outline that's as close to the Avali archetype as possible. And then from the sketch, use the because Blender has a sketch tool that you can just sketch lines in 2D in a 3D space. And then from there, I created these I started forming the polygons around to make the basic shape, then extrude it, and then from that point on, though, it was more like eyeballing it. I was basically eyeballing it the whole way. I didn't really take any measurements. I didn't bother like doing anything other than just I did have to use the an Avali reference sheet just to at least get the proportions right, because the Avali have a specific set of proportions that I have to stick to. Pardon me if you hear popping sounds. So the Avali have specific proportions in their bodies. And so I had to make sure that I have it like as close to that as possible, that the wings are scaled properly, the tail is the right length more or less. Now, typically though, Avalis have like a slightly bigger head than normal relative to their body size. But for the ABC Warrior, it's the head is much smaller actually relative to the body size. So it's the opposite. So, however, unfortunately, it's not like the ABC Warrior is not popular enough anymore in modern days. It's a niche subject, and so people in the modern days like don't know and never have watched the movie. And so when I tell them that's inspired by the ABC Warrior, they're like, well, "What was that?" And I have to explain to them the movie, and they're like, "Oh, I've never watched the movie. I never knew that existed." Probably the earliest Judge Dredd film they remember is the remake from like the late 2000s or something, or the 2010s. I can't remember, when did that movie come out? 2015 or something? Shit, man, I'm old. Although I don't think the ABC Warrior was ever featured in that film, unfortunately. However, for the ears, they are Avali ears, but the design is also partly inspired by the ears that you see in the film Chappie. Great film, by the way, love it. So if you've seen Chappie, the ears are partly inspired by that too. I still have to follow the Avali archetype with the ears, 4 ears total, with the top ears being like slightly bigger than the bottom ears, although some Avali types have it where the all 4 ears are the same length and size. Yeah. Oh man. So a lot of the comparisons that I've seen people make of this avatar today is they look at my avatar, it's like, oh, Bionicle. What? Apparently, now I can't unsee it. They think my avatar is a bionicle. I'm like, damn it. I've had some people compare it to, like, say, the Autobots. There were people who compared it to. One person told me that it looks like something that it could be a villain in a Jack and Daxter game. It's like, okay, that's an interesting take. That's quite something, really. So it took me a week to hard model this avatar from scratch. And then came the process of, the rigging, weight painting, the blend shapes, the biseams, understanding weight painting, vertex groups, understanding constraints, avatar configuration, the whole works, everything. And yeah, honestly, I'm glad that it came out really well. As for the optimization of this avatar, let me look up the avatar details. Like this avatar that I'm wearing specifically, it's ranked medium currently under VRChat's current ranking system as of early April 2026, in case you're watching this video from in the future. And so, like, total file size for this avatar, uncompressed, is less than 40 megabytes, and download size is just a smidgen over 5 megabytes, with texture memory at 37 megabytes. Total number of triangles that this avatar has is 19,995 triangles. Man. It has like 11 material slots, but again, it's only using 6 unique materials spread across those 11. Oh, I'm lagging. Spread across those 11 material slots. Unfortunately, VRChat is not looking at the number of unique materials, but they're looking at the number of material slots total. And it has 7 skinned meshes. 2 of those meshes are basic. Now, the other one that I have, there's another set of textures that I made. A rusted version. This one's a lot more shiny and everything. It's got normals, although I'd like to adjust the normal on this one because it's you can count the polygons on this. Like the avatar itself, the base avatar has smooth normals, but because of the normal map being so high, you can practically count the number of polygons on it. I need to fix that in Blender. But yeah, let me look at the avatar stats on this one. It's only slightly less optimized, but still ranked medium on PC. Unfortunately, both the models rank very poorly on Android. But still, it has the same number of triangles, and the only reason it has higher texture, and the only reason it's still slightly less optimized is because of the texture memory. It's got 85 megabytes at least of texture memory. And it's still only one texture. That's because it's a higher resolution texture, and it has more than 2 textures applied to it. The base texture, the ambient occlusion map, the roughness or glossiness map, as well as the normal map. That's it. Whereas the other avatar that I showed you is only utilizing the base texture and the ambient occlusion map. That's it. And those maps are lowered resolution at 2K. This avatar has a higher resolution at 4K. And also, it's Quest compatible. They are clearly Quest compatible. Interestingly enough, in VRChat, there are imposter modes when you generate them in VRChat. It's actually pretty damn nice. It's pretty well made. Honestly, I'm impressed. So yeah, that is it. Honestly, I'm stoked. I look forward to setting up the account and then making an announcement then, like when I'm going to sell it and what the price point is. All right, that's it. I think I said everything I ever needed to say. And as usual, fly safe. Okay, so this is a postscriptum edit. I completely forgot to mention the name of the avatar that I promised to talk to you about earlier in the video. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Originally, I was considering calling it the ABC Volley, but because that sounded a little bit too close to the intellectual property of the Judge Dredd IP, I decided against using it, and so it's not going to be called the ABC Volley. However, there is one name I was considering, basically calling it the Robo Volley or Mech Volley. So I was considering Mech Volley. And then someone on the Avalican Tribe Discord recommended that I use the name Mackin Avali. So it's like if you say it like it will be all in one word. So Mackin apostrophe A apostrophe volley. So Mackin volley. It's a wordplay on mecha volley. If you think about it, my name is a pun by itself as well. So Macintosh. For those of you who are dedicated Apple users out there, you'll recognize the name right off the bat. So my name is based on a pun, and the name of this avatar is based on wordplay on a name that's based off of a pun. Man, interesting how that works. And so, yep, that's basically how it goes. That's the name. It kind of stuck. It really kind of stuck. And so, yeah. Unfortunately, just for the sake of avoiding any cease and desist or avoiding any legal issues, I'll just simply call it the Macinavali. And so I'm not going to use ABC Avali. That's a little bit too on the nose, I think. And besides, unfortunately, as I mentioned previously in the video, this current I lagged. This current generation does not know or understand the reference. It would. It's like, yeah, man, I'm old. All right, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will let you know when I will sell this base. So I will include, of course, the blend file, the Unity package, as well as individual texture files for those of you who want to utilize your own image texture editors, like say GAMP or Krita, or if you want to use Adobe Substance Painter. So that's it. All right, and yeah. This kind of reminds me. This reminded me before I drag this postscriptum on a little too long. I did originally talk about a long time ago, actually, that I was trying to figure out how to monetize my content. And so this was a long time ago, and I had no idea. But I did put some hard lines in that I will not monetize it in the sense that I would do endorsements. I don't do endorsements. I don't do product placements. I don't do paid endorsements. And so I just want this to be a self-funded project. And it's already a self-funded project, to be honest. Like, I'm using my own hard-earned money from my job to support this hobby. And so I decided, how about I apply a little bit of my skill and make money out of it? And so I found out avatar making is a decent enough skill to at least make some money on the side. But you know, like it's not something that can it's not something that can replace my day job. That's for damn sure. But, you know, it's a nice little side hustle. So yeah, that's it. I'm cutting this out. Take care.